Hi, buddies. Very good evening. How are you doing? Some of you sent me the question paper and asked me if I could do a quick analysis. So I thought, okay, why not? Let me just do a quick analysis of the new syllabus paper. I hope you did well. It was, reasonable paper. You can't say it is very tough also, and you can't say it's very easy. So as usual, it was reasonable. So I just noted down all the things. As usual, we do a cluster analysis, if you remember. So we analyze everything based on a cluster. And I had already told you that every single time the clusters would come. From each cluster, one question would always come, right? So forgive me, I'm not in the studio today, so I had to make do at home itself. So I'm recording a Zoom meeting here so that it will help you. I didn't want to delay it further. Okay, first and foremost, those who are writing second group, do not watch this video, right? Simply you will be sitting and understanding the answers, then also analyzing the answers. So please, it's a humble request. Those who are writing second group, kindly do not watch this video. This is only for the ones who have finished first group and they are not writing the second group. Basically, today is your last paper. So for those people, you can watch this. And I will not do like an in-depth suggested answer analysis. Quickly, I'll take you through so that you'll understand whatever question paper it was. Now coming to these clusters, there are 15 clusters, dear friends. And as you can see, so I do not have access to MCQ questions. So you need to tell me in the comment section out of memory what type of MCQ questions had come. So I request you to comment in the comment section as to what MCQ questions had come from which areas, because I have no idea. The paper got over 1 hour ago, so I'm immediately recording and doing it. So as far as the director's basics, around 8 questions had come from cluster 1, from cluster 8 marks, sorry. Cluster 2 around 4 marks, cluster 3 4 marks, cluster 4 4 marks, 5 4 marks, 6 inspection, merger amalgamation around, in fact, it was 4 to 8 marks actually. Then let me make it 8. Then winding up around 4, special court, Nidhi, foreign company. From Nidhi, it had not come in the main descriptive, maybe in the MCQ it had come. Then IBC around 9 as usual. SEBI LODR 4, FEMA 3, and SCRA and SURFACE, this is the last time ever they can ask, right? So around 7 marks. PMLA around 6. Arbitration, generally they'll ask around 3, but this time around 7. FCRA have been a little disappointing because though the amendments have come, they have not asked anything from the amendments, but nevertheless, 6 marks have come. So around 86 marks is a descriptive portion, including choice. So I'm happy to tell you that most of the questions, at least 50% of them, have been just a blind copy paste from my Q&A material with some figures changed, right? And some, names changed, which means predominantly they have relied on not my Q&A. What I'm trying to tell is previous year's questions. My Q&A anyway is nothing but previous year's questions. And it has gone as, as early as 2001. So they have given questions from 2001 also. Think about it, like 20 years ago. Anyway, so this one, when I saw this question only, I came to know this first one, innovative intelligence, that it is definitely a previous year's question. It has come many times, at least 2-3 times it has come before, guys. So they have changed the figures here and there and they've given the same thing. So this is a listed company. So predominantly you just need to see what type of company it is and then see which question. So here they're talking about commission, and directors other than the managing director are getting a monthly remuneration. So if I just open my Q&A material, it is in page number 164. So if you see, same question, they had given international technologies being managed by managing director, commission at the rate of 5%. Directors other than the managing director, here they have given 50,000, and in the question they have given 2,50,000. That's it. So basically, it's a question on 197 on the limits managerial remuneration. So if you see for the MD, you can pay, 5%, 5 and 10% for MD and other directors, and overall it is 11%. It's based on that. So also one more thing here is, if you see, you go to the paper, yeah. Directors other than the managing director are proposed to pay a monthly remuneration of 2,50,000. So apart from section 197, since they have given 2,50,000, so for more than 2,50,000, your office or place of profit would come for others, and for directors also it would come if it is over and above. Here they are not talking about anything over and above. They are talking about the normal remuneration. So please do not get confused with office or place of profit, because that limit is also 2,50,000. So overall remuneration to and shall not exceed 2%. It's a similar question. So basically that internal limits of 5 and 10. If can I go beyond 5 and 10? Yes, with a special resolution, and beyond 11, I can go ordinary resolution. So if you see validity of the above proposals, commission is distributed equally. That's fine. So it's a similar question which is there in my page 164 of Q&A material. Those of you who have the material can check out the answers there. It's fine. So it's very simple question, direct, straightforward, based on cluster number 5 as such. Then next question was with respect to foreign nationals. This also has been taken from the Q&A material because it is a previous year's question paper question. If you see UN Limited, foreign nationals often on business tour abroad. So let's see that. Same question number 65 in my material, page 62. Same thing, you see. In charge of multinational company, there it was UN Limited. Foreign director is always on a tour abroad. He approached you. So how many directors can be appointed as alternate director? So this is actually a November 19 question paper for 8 marks. So similar, it's basically based on 161(2) of the Companies Act. So if so authorized by the articles, you can appoint an alternate director for a director. Technically, as I have explained in my revision video also, alternate director cannot be appointed if you have gone abroad for work. But as I already explained in the revisionary video, that institute does not consider all that. If you go abroad, institute says, yeah, you can appoint an alternate director. So that logic you can take. And if that original director appears via video conferencing, can this guy also continue? No. I mean, the thing is, whose vote will be counted? The director who is present in the meeting, that is the alternate director's vote will be counted, because the term of the original director is always where only till the term of the alternate director is only when the original director comes back. Anyway, in this question, if you see number of directors for which person, say Mr. Y can be appointed as an alternate director. So it was for an alternate director for a director. If Mr. Y is appointed as an alternate director in place of a director whose term is indefinite, then what will be the tenure? Tenure are 3 things, guys. When he returns to India. Second one, not longer than that permissible. And the third one is when it is determined. Determined means terminated. A similar question, very easy question actually. So these two are chilled out questions. Third one, Blackstone Limited BL. This also when I saw, I realized this was a slightly older question. So in my Q&A material, it is page number 85. Same copy paste, but they've just changed the numbers and figures. So let me just show you that. See, same question. November 2018, page number 85. Same. Director, subsidiary company. So predominantly, I need to see 2 clause 76 for this to understand what type of director you are. So first I need to go to section 188. Basically, it says if you are a related party's appointment to the office or place of profit in that company, subsidiary company or associate company. Technically, holding company is not there, though institute has used, surprisingly, that the holding company also as a related party, but it is definitely the suggested answers would be wrong in that way. I'm talking about the old suggested answer. Anyway, so related party would obviously be the director relative, KMP, relative, and also in this portion, such other person as may be prescribed. So in such other person as may be prescribed, they have spoken about KMP of the holding company also. So as far as related party is concerned, it is that company and the holding company. Subsidiary company generally is not covered. However, if you talk about the director relative of that company and the holding company, that is director, KMP, or that particular person's relative in the holding company, if they have been appointed, such related party, appointment to any office or place of profit in the company, the subsidiary company or associate company, then related party transactions would come, provided they are beyond arm's length price. So basically you need to write 2 clause 76 and 188. I'm just trying to tell you what all points you should consider. That's it. We cannot sit and discuss each and every one full in depth. It's just a quick analysis. So the same question, guys. So here, general manager of 1,75,000. Mind you, office or place of profit technically will come only if it is more than 2,50,000 rupees. Correct? For 188 1F. For the director, it will come if it is 1 rupee over and above. For others, it would come if it is more than 2,50,000. Here they are talking about the director himself, Mr. Amir, a director. So then here also Kumar. Only the third one, they have spoken about the relative appointed as a director. So accordingly, you need to write as per 188 and 2 clause 76. So in the light of provisions, critically examine whether appointment requires approval at a general meeting, affect the continuation. So if you are appointed as a director later and your relative is already appointed, then nothing will happen. But if you are a director and then you appoint a relative, then only these 188 extra will come. But mind you, after you have been appointed as a director, if you change the terms and conditions of the contract of Mr. Pratap in such a manner that it would be beneficial to him, then it would amount to conflict of interest. So all these pointers you need to write. Decent question. Then here they have spoken about the falsification, destruction and falsification of the records of the company as such. This is a question on inspection and investigation. Manipulation of documents they have spoken about, and here he's talking about social media. He has put some comments on social media as such, what to do. So let me just check it out. So yeah, regarding falsification of documents, etc. Let me just delete this too. Yeah. So basically, you could write section 229 that I'm just putting the Bayer Act also in front of you. So where a person is required to provide an explanation, etc., destroys, mutilates, or falsifies or conceals any documents or information, etc., and makes or is party to making a false entry, provides an explanation which is false, then automatically what happens? If you destroy the documents directly, it will go under 447. So that 447 fraud, it will come. So if you see is a party to manipulation of documents, it will go to 447. So here you need to write, explain a little about that particular section. So that's chilled out. Next talks about reconstruction of the company, sale of plant, appropriation, unsecured creditors to forego 60% of the claim. This is predominantly, you have to write section 230. It is compromise in and arrangement. In my revisionary video, I've clearly told that it is very, very important to remember this chart as to the 230 and 231 procedure. This is the procedure that you have to write, right? And also this is a question which has come in page number 220 of my Q&A material, copy paste. This was a May 2017, and earlier also same, they have copy pasted. So if you had done the Q&A, I'm not saying my Q&A, if you had really done the previous year's question papers properly, almost 50% of the paper was picked up from there. So it seems that the paper setters are a little lazy this time. They just took from the previous things because you've already had the ghosts of audit paper. So they thought, okay, let me make this little chilled out. So if you had solved, that's why solving previous year's question and answers are very, very important, friends. Whichever the source, you can pick up the Q&A from suggested answers, or you can pick up my Q&A book. It's up to you. But what I'm trying to tell is you should solve the previous year's Q&A. So it's the same thing. Predominantly, they have asked you to write the steps. If you see, this has come in 2014, 1991, 1986, and all those things. Before we were all born, right? 2003, 2017. So already repeated almost 7-8 times. And this is again, they've repeated the similar question. Technically, I have to write section 230. The chart, I had, those of you who are my students know that this chart is so important. We have done it in depth in my revision class also and regular class also and fast track as well. You can check it out. Right. As far as fast track is concerned, I have my fast track coming up in August. So you can attend that. I mean, you can tell your friends, of course. That will be again predominantly for the November 21 examination, including all the amendments. Cool. So let's see. This is done. Advise the directors about the step. Everyone was shouting, no, ECB, 10 marks will come, 15 marks will come, fixated on ECB, just 3 marks question had come. It is a chilled out question. So 1 question on FEMA ECB, just 3 marks. So people are fixated on the FEMA chapter for paper 4. But I've been telling that if you, that 150, 200 pages will only come for around 3 to 4 marks. So don't get fixated. People were talking about PRI, PRO. I'm not sure whether it came in MCQ, but definitely here it did not come. And 1 question on SARFAESI, chilled out direct question on SARFAESI about the DRT. That is 1 question here. Central government is contemplating a trial of a certain offence, punishable with imprisonment of 2 years or more, and the police, it was charged under Code of Criminal Procedure. This predominantly is there in my chart book, guys. It's the concept of summary trial. So you could have written that, the summary trial concept. Let me see if I pick that. Yeah, so it's 436. So notwithstanding anything contained under the Code of Criminal Procedure, what are the offenses triable by the special court? Because anything, it is part of the Code of Criminal Procedure. And also they can do it in a summary way for the ones which imprisonment is, not exceeding 1 year, and predominantly imprisonment not exceeding 3 years. So in my chart book, it is given summary assessment. So that part you have to write. That's it. It's a decent question. I'm sure you could have cracked that. So regarding the other clusters, cluster 8, etc. So they have given questions which are slightly, offbeat, which is good. This is a direct question on foreign company, and also you should write section 128, 129, and of course the foreign company provisions. Financial statements in German language has to be translated to India, or in India, if it's a, wherever consolidation is applicable. So this is one more question with respect to foreign company, direct questions. It's a direct question. Then 2 questions on PMLA. So the question here was, if the person dies, what happens to the confiscated property? This is predominantly based on section 8 of the adjudication. We had made a master chart on adjudication in the chart book. So if you had just revised on it, you could have answered. But the benefit of all, it's around, it's given here, where the trial cannot be conducted by reason of death. Special court on an application moved by the director or a person entitled to the possession of property can do so. And it stands confiscated, such confiscated property or part thereof of a claimant with a legitimate interest in the property. You can ask for the return of that property as a legitimate interest. This predominantly was inserted with the Finance Act in 2015. In good faith, claimant, you can return it. So same question 8.7 and 8.8. That is what you had to write in this particular question. 3 marks, easy. Confidential data is direct question. It's a simple one. This is one question on SCRA. Again, unavoidable statements, an inability to attend the meeting. It's a direct question on SCRA. You could have answered that easily. Then next question, SEBI Act. So this is a different question, guys, not asked till now. It's an interesting question. So as a market intermediary, he wants immunity. So his immunity, can it be granted, is the question here. Can immunity be granted? So one is basic would be the 11C, where the board, that is the SEBI, they can investigate any intermediary with respect to production of documents, etc., and all those things. But as far as immunity is concerned, and also if there's penalty for falsifying the information, these two are okay. But can you grant immunity is the big question here. As far as immunity is concerned, before that, you could also speak about just a line in one line. There is a concept of settlement of the administrative and civil proceedings also. So you can enter into a contract with the board, that is SEBI, for settlement of the entire issue under all these things. But yeah, the direct question here was, can immunity be granted? So power to grant immunity is given under section 24B. So the central government may, on recommendation of the board, grant immunity. They can take back the immunity also whenever they want. So a combination of these sections would be a better way of answering the question. It's a good question. So this was, something which was good. I told you, not everything was easy, somewhere tricky. So this was a good question. It's not tricky as such. It's just that students don't study this particular section. So in that way, it was a little good. Disappointing with FCRA, friends, because amendments have come, but then these fellows have asked the same old question. Administrative purposes, make investment in gold deposit scheme. So it's about the investment, where all you can invest. And administrative purposes, yeah, one part you can say that instead of that 50%, etc., now the administrative purposes, it is only for 20%. That is one small thing they have asked, but yeah. Similarly, foreign contribution, religious valid. This is the same question of the previous year. Last year's question, if you go back previous years, the same question they've asked. See, this one is copy paste from the previous thing. If you can go to my Q&A or any Q&A, you can check, it is there. One question about winding up. Direct question. All suit and proceedings come to an end. Provisional liquidator was appointed. Advise. Fine, winding up question. Then what is this? Conduct of affairs of the company. Share appear alternative resolution. So alternative dispute resolution. So this is next level of the court. So what do you have to do? This again, I will see that later in arbitration it comes. So is there any alternative resolution of dispute mechanism is what they have told. So that is one question. 3 plus 3 here and again 3 later. This is regarding IBC. IBC also they have given decent questions, but technically they don't ask from the regulations, but here they have asked about the insolvency resolution, CIRP process and insolvency professional regulation. So if you are an insolvency professional entity and if you are a related party, can you be the resolution professional? The answer is no. That is point number C. Point number D was about validity of the meeting and giving the notice to the operational creditors with respect to COC. So guys, COC generally has financial creditors. Operational creditors have to be given notice, but then the thing is only those who represent 1/10 of the overall operational debt as such. But even if they don't attend the meeting, nothing will happen. So they are anyway ineligible to vote. So that was this particular question. And resolution plan to be approved by 66% majority. So that is what is the other part of it. This question is regarding circular resolution. What shall be the date of approval for giving the effect to the promotion order of Mr. Amrish? So here this is sometimes, if you have to appoint a KMP, for instance, if you see here it's not a KMP, it's just a general manager finance. But guys, if he's a KMP, because KMP definition, if you see, it would be, what do you say, CEO, CFO, CS, manager, MD, and also one level below the KMP who is designated as KMP. So if that comes, right, so section 203, if it is affected, then it should happen via board meeting resolution as per 203. But if it is not so, then circular resolution can happen. So this you have to write that one line as a note. And of course, this question is on circular resolution. How will you pass a circular resolution? How will you send the documents either by hand delivery or by post or by courier or through electronic means? 4 items only. So here they have given the same thing: special messenger, courier, email. And when is it passed? Here, this is a question on secretarial standard. It is deemed to be passed on the day, it is actually passed. But how many people should pass it? More than 2/3. If more than 2/3 pass, right, then it is passed on that day. Basically, it is open for 7 days. So assume on the 3rd day, more than 2/3 of the directors are eligible to vote, pass it. So if you see Mr. Amrish cannot vote on it. If he's a director, he cannot vote on it, obviously. Because if you see your section 175, only those are entitled to vote on the resolution. So barring Mr. Amrish, if he was a director, barring that guy, others can vote, correct? Others can vote. The person who is, ineligible to vote, of course, he should be put out of that. All the other people should vote. Also, they have said one person, Mr. What's his name? Amir, is a resident of Singapore. So he has given his address there, is what they are trying to tell. Technically, if you see here, it says has been approved by majority of the directors and address is registered with the company in India. So if you see, this is a very good question that Mr. Amir, if he was abroad, doesn't matter. I have to give to the address registered with the company in India. That is one point you have to write. And this along with the secretarial standard you should see where they say that more than 2/3 if they have responded, that is the day when the resolution is actually passed. Good question. Good question. They have not asked this before, guys. It's a good one. Is there any violation and all this? Is there any violation that I have to write as a note that if 203 comes, then board meeting resolution. Then one question on the thing, this is the audit committee. Yeah, audit committee. Audit committee always should be as per the latest audited balance sheet. So accordingly, you should compute the turnover, etc., and then figure it out. Consider an audit committee complied with the provisions as per the LABS, latest audited balance sheet. Muthuswamy, this is about section 165. The directorship is holding, and of course the DIN as well, 152. So I've given the theory notes on DIN. You can check it out. So if there is any extra DIN, should I surrender it? What is the procedure? What are the actions? What is the liability and all these things? Can he keep all the 12 directorships with one DIN? So, and how many directorships are there in the company? All those things. Arbitration clause. Contain an arbitration clause where all disputes between the parties would be submitted to an arbitral tribunal consisting of a sole arbitrator. Yes, it can have a clause where I will direct it to somebody else. As far as appointment of arbitrator, is a similar question. And when is the arbitral award given? All these things. It's a good question. 3 marks, easy. So one question on arbitration that asked, and of course the previous one there, it had to be linked with this. Foreign trade creditor having its office in New York wants to file a petition under IBC on default of a debtor in India. Moved a petition under section 9, commencement of insolvency. Certificate from foreign institution. Yes. So financial institution, sorry. So if under section 9, if you have to apply, you have to also submit a certificate from financial institution. So earlier what used to happen was IBC is applicable to all the corporate debtors in India. So even if an outsider has given money, trade, they can definitely, in operational creditor, they can definitely go for it. So here they have given foreign trade creditor. So the foreign company was not having any office or bank account in India. So certificate from financial institution. So it should mention in the financial institution, that is a bank in India, saying that we have not received anything. So good thing about IBC is financial institution is a financial institution only in India. But you are a foreign trade creditor. A foreign trade creditor who does not have any bank account in India, can they submit a petition under IBC against its Indian debtor is the question. So because of few cases, what they did was foreign financial institution, they made it if available. Foreign institution if available. Let me just show you that. There you go. See here. A copy of the certificate from the financial institution maintaining accounts, no payment of an unpaid operation by the corporate debtor if available. This is all you need to write. Section 9, subsection 3. Good question. And if you write this, you will get full marks. How much is it? 3 marks. That's about it, guys. So a quick recap here, around 86 marks, right? So I will also do the old syllabus as well. I haven't received the paper as of now. So I can also do a step-by-step analysis of how to write the answers. Today it was just a quick analysis just for you to understand what all areas it came from. And here and there I discussed a few answers as well. Okay. So hope you liked it, guys. You can, in the comments, you can write down the MCQs that you got, etc. All right. Thank you, buddies. Take care. And those of you who are writing second group, all the best. But yeah, I hope you have not watched this video. And those of you who have written the first group, enjoy now for a few days and then get ready for the second group. Take care. See you. Bye. I'm ending the meeting now. Thank you.